Welcome to Biblical Christian Content, where we like to keep the content biblical. Let's go.
We all expect to be gaslighted by the political left and the mainstream media, and sadly, we're coming to expect more and more that we're going to be gaslighted by members of Big Eva. But I still haven't really come to terms with expecting to be gaslighted by guys that I've appreciated for so many years, such as John Piper. Nevertheless, Piper just wrote an article called "A Reason to be Vaccinated: Freedom." I'll save you the time. The synopsis is this. Piper insists there's a great number of unvaccinated individuals who secretly really want to get the vaccine, but they're afraid to do so because of peer pressure. From whom? The conservative right, pastors, evangelicals, fellow Christians. Piper's refusing to live in reality. See, you and I both know that those who didn't get the vaccine because they don't want the vaccine, and they're being pressured not by the conservative right, but by the liberal left. You see, Piper's smart. He knows this too, which means his article is not an example of ignorance, but probably deception.
But I still think it's subversive. I think it's sneaky. And again, I think this article was born out of a desire to push the official narratives, to push the Great Reset agenda, without saying something obviously theologically incorrect about the vaccines. And so this is what the result was. And so he's pushing, he's getting the point across he wants to get across. He's pushing the narrative. He's playing ball with the pagans. But he's doing so in a sneakily subversive way. I'm going to tell you what I mean now. If you want to check out this article, it's called "A Reason to be Vaccinated: Freedom." And that's a bit of a clickbaity title, which is fine. I have no problem with clickbait. And it also is available on audio if you want to listen to it in a very, overly dramatic, I'm about to cry kind of way. Then you can listen to him read it himself and all of that. But here is what the article says, and I'm going to comment. I might not read the whole thing, but I'm going to comment as we go, and hopefully you'll find this helpful. But all right, here we go. Actually, you know what? Let me flip a coin first. We're going to leave this up to the coin flip. All right, I'm going to be nice. All right, quote, "My aim in this article is to encourage Christians to be vaccinated if they can do so with a good conscience and judicious medical warrant. The people I have especially in view are those who are not vaccinated because of fear of being out of step with the people they respect and in step with people they don't admire. My message to them is simple. You are free." Now let's stop the article right there. But they haven't gotten vaccinated because they have a fear of man problem. And his message to them is, you are free. So that's what he means by freedom, right? He means that you're free to not worry about the peer pressure and to just do what you want to do and what you believe God wants you to do, the morally good thing. So this is where the subversion starts, because that's true, right? Yeah, that's true. If you're not getting the vaccine because you're afraid of peer pressure, and the pressure is on to not get the vaccine, but you really think it's good, and that's the only reason you haven't gotten it is peer pressure, well, that's not a godly reason to not get the vaccine, right? That's not a godly reason. So he's right. You can't really argue with that. But first of all, I don't think any people at this point in October, it's mid-October 2021, at this point, there's so few people that are in that position that it's obviously an intentional subversion. Because when you think about what's actually happening in our culture and in our churches and from every major ministry and from every major political source and from every official source, it's actually the opposite. People don't want to get the vaccine. They don't think it works. They have questions about the abortion cells and all that kind of stuff. They have questions about the tyranny. But they're being peer pressured to get the vaccine. So you see, this is a subversion of reality. John Piper's reality is the opposite of what real reality is. Now, I don't think it's the opposite. I think John Piper knows full well that there are hardly any people that fit the category that he's describing. But there are tons of people that fit the opposite category. Do you see how subversive this is? This is a complete upside down reality. And so he's right. Like, you are free to not succumb to peer pressure and follow God. But the thing is, the people he's writing to are not in that predicament. In fact, they're in the opposite predicament, where the people that want them to get the vaccine are manipulating them. They're telling them it's loving your neighbor. It's the law of God. It's a matter of sin. They're telling them that it's totally safe, and the numbers are without question. It's totally nobody. They're the ones that are being pressured into getting the vaccine, not the other way around. And so this article, John Piper, is upside down. And so I'm left with a couple options here, right? And this is always the question. Is it that you just don't understand, or are you intentionally being subversive? And so I understand why there's a debate here, because we can't see inside your soul. We can't see your intentions. But I am of the opinion that John Piper is actually quite smart. I think he's quite smart. And a lot of people, and I agree, when it comes to application, he's a train wreck. And he is a train wreck when it comes to application for any kind of counter the narrative, type of application. I think he's a train wreck. But this article is so subversive that this has to be an intentional choice. I don't know. I don't know. But you see, right off the bat, the subversion is just off the charts.
Wow, we got an exciting one today, that's for sure. I'm glad you all are tuned in. Like, share, comment, subscribe for the YouTube algo. What a turn of events here, The title of this video is probably going to be Criticism of John Piper, concern for John Piper and criticism of John Piper, because I haven't really spoke out much about this. As AD just said, first and foremost, that's the first short clip that was Right Response Ministry on YouTube. That was one of his really short clips, and I wasn't even aware of the situation until I saw that video from him. And then this is like a Christian podcast, kind of Christian commentary channel, and that's from AD. That's the name of the title, channel AD. And it's kind of shocking, because I agree with both these gentlemen. It is the absolute opposite of what Piper is stating in his letter. And how I can tell you that is this. I live in a pretty big city. Just yesterday, I had a girl tell me, because she works in a school, and I wasn't sure. We were talking about let's call it the needle. We were talking about the needle, and she tells me that she had gotten it. I wasn't aware that she did, but she had told me so many times in the past, like, why are they doing this to us? Why are they, trying to force it on us? And like, what's the point of making you get it? Like, you have to get it. Like, we've been talking about this for like weeks and months. And she told me just yesterday, okay? So as I'm recording this video, we're talking hours prior to me making this video. The girl said to me, and she goes, I was like, did you get it? And she goes, yeah. And I just put my head down. And I said to her, I said, you bowed down, huh? And she was like, no, I didn't want to. Don't be mad at me, like, joking around with me. And that's the truth. What AD said is so right. It is what John Piper said in reality, in real reality, it is the complete opposite of what John Piper said. It's an upside down universe he's painting. And Joel from Right Response Ministries, he said, and both of them said, that this guy's a smart guy. So for him to say that, it is the absolute opposite. You have the NBA players speaking out. You have Kyrie Irving. You have the Christian gentleman from the Orlando Magic. You had Andrew Wiggins from the Golden State Warriors, who was forced to get it. And when he was forced to get it, they asked him, how do you feel? And he said, well, I guess I don't own my own body anymore, or something to that effect. So there is nothing. Every single person I know, every person that I know, and I live in a big city, none of them are saying, man, I wish I can go get the needle, but people will think bad, but I'm not doing it because how people will think about me. Every single person I know is saying, I do not want to get the needle. They are trying to force it on me. They're trying to take away our livelihood. They're trying to say I can't go here. They're trying to say I can't travel. Every person, without fail, and I live in a big city, every person that I know, they are all saying the same thing. They're trying to force me to get the needle. I don't want to do it. They're trying to mandate it, and that's not right. So you guys make the choice. I'm glad that I pieced this together, and take what you want from it. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more. God bless.